Say more than Britain.
Thank you very much, Dave. There's Dave Berger, friend of mine, character, well-known character in East London. Always ducking and diving, always busy.
Why are you the hardest man in Britain?
Because I am. I've been fighting everybody, all comers. I've never ducked anyone. And they're doing a £10 million movie about my life now. And I am the hardest man in Britain, without a doubt. But I've retired now, I'm going on to better things. They're doing my life story, and I hope I get a lot of money out there and I can retire.
Can you tell us a bit about your bare knuckle fighting?
Yeah, I used to go Derby Day a few years ago, 75, 76 and 77, fighting gypsies at Derby Day. And funny enough, this place where we're sitting now is a big hut out there. I used to fight bare knuckles out there. Just fight anyone who wants to have a fight for money. People call me an animal. I don't think you're an animal fighting another big powerful guy for a few quid. You're not interfering with anyone, the public, we're leaving them alone. We're fighting people who want to fight. Dave will tell you. And then from there we went on to licence fighting, what you call where the public could come and watch, but then you had to wear gloves because the thing is the police would nick you.
That makes you a star, mate.
So what we've done, I used to fight top of the bill on these unlicensed shows, and that's where I got to know Dave, because he used to fight on the same bills. And I'll tell you that the last fight I had was at Woodford. I fought a big powerful guy at Woodford, 6'7", 24 stone, and I was sitting in the dressing room, and that's when I met Dave. He come in, all his nose bleeding, and he was shouting and I said, "What's the matter with you?" He said, "Well, I can't understand this." He said, I just had a fight with a geezer. I know the geezer, kicked him up the knackers. He said, "I got disqualified, Len. Well, what's it all about?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "If he disqualifies me, I'll kill him stone dead." You know, that's what I mean. See, we're characters. I mean, I don't know what people say about us. We're characters, you know. There's a lot of film work, Dave. And I'm getting into film work. We do what we have to do for a few quid.
Tell us how you started fighting.
Well, I started fighting because I think I was about 2 months old. Someone licked me ball. No, I was. My father died when I was 4. What happened was, it's like everything else. My mother was beautiful, 26 with 5 kids. And what happened? My stepfather slipped in, married my mum. He wanted me mum, but he didn't want the booby prizes, the kids. So he broke my jaw when I was 5. Put me in hospital. Broke my leg when I was about 11. Just an horrible bully. And then all of a sudden I looked around one day, and I was 17. And I looked at my stepfather and I thought, I'll fucking give him who's the governor. And then he fucked up, and I ain't seen him since. But I'm not saying that I wouldn't hit him when he's 63 years old, but I'll tell him where he went wrong. So I think I fucking not all there for him.
What else do you get up to apart from fighting?
Well, you know, duck and dive, do a bit of debt collecting, mine a few people, mine a few clubs. And I'll just you know, do what I have to do to get a living. But I was saying to Dave, you know, the other day, Dave said he's in a bit of trouble and this and that. He said, "Len, where's it going to end?" And I said to him, I said, "Dave, look, well, you don't understand. I think you do understand because you're old enough now. We're born in East London. And don't let anyone, I know people say, well, we was born in East London. Well, they wouldn't work the system. Let them work the system. They want potless and skin. You know, in East London, you've got to kick and be kicked. And I wasn't prepared to be kicked, so I became the toughest guy. Dave does his duck and diving and whatever he's got to do, a bit of debt collecting, because we have to get a living. Because, you know, we're not prepared to go the system way. Go the system way with nothing. I mean, you read in the paper every day. Mrs. So-and-so, 86, died of pneumonia, freezing cold, trying to put 2-bob electric. You know, the system's no good. And,
well, if you're in our sort of life, you meet a certain, you surround yourself with a certain type of people, and you get more opportunities to do that debt collecting. I mean, you'd do it if you had the opportunities and the amount of money that's involved. You'd do the debt collecting if you had the opportunities. It's just that we get more opportunity than everybody else because of who we're supposed to be or what, like Lenny, who you are. You get offers all the time. You get opportunities to go out and earn this money. It's not that we run around looking for it. No. It's people who approach you all the time to do things. So that ends up your way of life, if you want it or not.
But 9 out of 10, we don't want it, Dave, do we?
No, mate, not at all.
We don't want it. I mean, funny enough, I'm sitting here talking to you now, and I had to make the meet early with you people because I've got to meet at 2 o'clock. I'm going down to London Airport because someone owes someone 150,000 and ain't going to pay. So I'll go and talk to these people and I've got to go and get the money off them.
How are you going to do that?
Well, we'll talk to them first, and then if they don't pay up, we'll... but they usually pay, funny enough. but you know, but the thing is, it's nice when my film goes and we get out a few quid, it's nice to pick the phone and say, no, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? But we do our thing, what we got to do to get a living.
Have you ever seen Lenny fight?
Yeah, mate, a lot.
Can you tell us about his more colourful fights?
They're all colourful fights. There ain't one better than the other. Every single one. He's the poor man's a lunatic. You should feel sorry for him, really. He can't help what he does. He's half man, half bear, I think.
Thank you very much, Dave. I mean, there's a compliment coming from an Upper East Ender. You know, if he come from St John's Wood and said that, I think he was taking the piss because he wouldn't know. He don't know our way of life. But he fought under the same stone.
Tell us about a couple of your fights.
Well, I had a bare knuckle fight with a guy. This is not our license show, it's a bare knuckle fight. Funny enough, we had it in here. There's a guy peeping around the corner there, he promoted it. We had our license fight in here where anything goes. But what happened was, I slung the first right hand, I caught him right eye on the forehead and broke my hand. And then I let him in left hook, and he went over. Remember, it's an all-in fight, so I laid on top of him, but I can't hit him no more. I broke this hand and broke this thumb. So I bent over, and I took a liberty, really. I spoke about half his ear off, his bottom lip, and then bit his throat out. But I won the prize. He went to hospital, and he said to me, you know, when he came out of hospital, well, tell the truth, he didn't. He came out of hospital and he thought I went too strong, so he got a gun. And a pal of mine borrowed the car at the time. And I said, they'd be a bit slippery, there's someone flying about with a gun. So I said, I'm going to go around the corner. He got the motor, blew his leg off from the knee, thought it was me. Then the meat was cold and they had to behave themselves because I'm afraid someone would have died. So we weren't shaking hands like that. I've had some terrible, you know, fights. But that's the way it is, that's the way it goes, isn't it?
Do you enjoy it?
Not so much enjoy it. Whatever I do for money. So I suppose really, so thank you, Dave. So I suppose in the old days, people like us would be called gunslingers. You know, because whatever we do for money. But if I had degrees, if I had what you call a degree in this or a degree in that education, I'll be doing other things. But I was born in that East End. We had to shape up and knock them out to get a few quid, and that end up.
Everybody's gifted at something. I mean, I'd prefer to be gifted at a computer operator or something. It's just that a man can have a row and that's it. You understand? I mean, he's the best fighter, but the best, and that's his gift. So whether you want to or not, that's what you're best at. That's what you've got to go and do. You know, you don't choose, you don't turn into a fighter. You're born one. You know, and that's what he is.
It's in there. It comes from in there. It don't come from being shown or being taught. It's in there.
Yeah, a couple of times.
It's in there. You know. And as Dave said, you know, Dave's had a couple of bits of trouble and he's phoned me up, and I've made one with Dave. But I'll give the kid a bit of credit. You know, he's a lot younger than me. He's game. He's as game as a beagle, and that's what it's all about. He's as game as a beagle, and he'll die with you.
If you had the chance to start plan your career out again, would you do it differently?
No, I wouldn't change my life the way I'll stick to it. The only thing is I wouldn't let people use me so much. You know, I mean, in the early days, people would phone me up, they're in trouble, I'm there. You know, where what I should have done was instead of going and having murders and tear-ups for nothing, I'd have gone, hold up, that's got to come to so-and-so. It's only as I got a little bit older that I started saying, well, hold up now, I'll say to people, it cost you so-and-so. You know, if a debt collector, I'd get money up front and I'd be paid. Whatever I do, I won't do nothing for nothing.
A lot of people, they're not friends of ours, but they consider themselves friends of yours, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they bounce your name about as if they're like right good pals, and, you know, and I forgot most of their names, I don't even know who they are, but they talk to people as if, oh, Dave and Lenny, you know, I mean, fucking right good mates of mine, you know, they'd do anything with me. So they're carrying around this illusion
100%
They're
right.
right in there with you, you understand what I mean? But they ain't. They're not, and they're the users. They're the ones that you end up getting nicked for and things like that, like nothing people. You know, nonsense people.
100% right. He is so right, you know, he's 100% right.
Okay, cut, reload.
Oh, what?
Training.
I'll do weights, bit of bag work, and I always keep my hand in, you know, keep my hand in and have a little spar about and fiddle about.
Find a sparring partner.
You know, that's right, thanks Dave.
Come down to the gym sometimes, I mean, there's all the chaps and all these young fit boys, I mean, all the pros and the unlicensed boys, like little waists and big chests, and they really think they're business. He comes in with his fucking kit on and he stands in the gym and he goes, well, who's going to spar with me then? Everyone's going, fuck that. You know, he'll turn away.
Yeah, I'll train, me and Dave train about 2 or 3 times a week, you know, at the club. He keeps himself well. As I said to him, Dave, you got to keep well because all these up-and-coming youngsters keep fancying the job. As the years go on, they look at you and they fancy the job. So what do? You train mentally, instead of being 41, you're 31. I mean, that's how I think. And he's the same, you know.
Hard men, there ain't a lot of hard men around now. It's just, you get these young kids that are like 16, 17, 18 with a chiv, and they're running around, they're not frightened of anyone, you know, they'd be prepared to, you know, you really got to have your wits about you now. It's these young'uns, mate.
See, the young'uns today, they got no respect. See, they ain't got no respect. The trouble is, see, they're putting shit out their nose, shit in their veins, and they really don't give a monkey's who you are. You know, they don't know where they're coming or going, they don't know what day is, and they're dangerous. They're dangerous because they've got no respect. I mean, you read in the paper, you know, all these old girls and old boys getting mugged. I mean, you saw on the news the other night, that young girl being stabbed in the mouth or whatever. I mean, let's be fair, you know, people who do that, they're off their nuts, and they're drugged up, they're you know, because the kids, they're doing it for tuppence. They don't care because they're out their nuts. When we was younger, I mean, if we see an old girl walking along with a shopping bag or something, I'd say to them or a few pals, oh, it's Mrs. So-and-so. Hello, Mrs. So-and-so. Can we help you with your bag? And that's no cobblers. Anyone our age will tell you. And we'll help Mrs. So-and-so to the door with the bag. And if we got tuppence, we'll be well pleased. We got the elbow, we'd still say, OK, Mrs. So-and-so. It was the way we was brought up. But the kids today, they go, zoom up the Uta, zoom in there, and don't care.
Drugs, because we've worked the clubs, I mean, it's helped us out a lot. You see it all the time. I mean, you know what drugs can do and things. So it helps us out not to take it. You understand? Anyone that's on it, we've got the edge over them because we're straight.
Not much. We know the game.
And it helps you out to keep off the gear by looking at everybody on it.
If I'm on the door of a club, I don't give, well, I might give them half inch. I'll give them half inch. But I'll tell you once and that's it. They'll take your head right off because the thing is, these young kids, you show them kindness, they'll take kindness for weakness. Right. Nice people, you can show nice people kindness, they'll go, when you walk away, isn't he a nice guy? You show a mug or these dangerous little kids kindness, they go, he don't seem that strong, he ain't really that strong, is he? So with the kids, I mean, the other week down at a club, someone's glassed someone. I didn't say to the kid, why did you glass him? I took his head right off. Because what right did he have to stick a glass in someone's face? Anyway, when we worked it all out and we parted them, and anyway, I knocked the guy out while he was unconscious. I said to the one who got lost, why did he glass you? Well, because I'm going out with his girl that he used to go out with 3 years ago. And that's stupid. They give one right down there.
And the thing is, you're at a job, you're a policeman in a nightclub. In a nightclub, there's no old Bill in there, you are the policeman.
That's right.
And you go and do what you think is right. Like, I'm going to prison now for giving cocaine dealers a plump. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm in there to sort of to stop it, and when you do stop it, you get nipped. I mean, the amount of time the old Bill have been around to see him because he's given someone a come ain't for nothing.
That's
just
right.
Walk around and bully the geezer because you can have a row. Don't mean say you're a bully.
That's 100% right.
You use it in the right text. You're a policeman in a nightclub. He is.
What is it?
You still command quite a lot of respect from people. I mean, you say that the youngsters don't give you any respect, but I mean, I've seen differently. Can you just tell us why you think that is?
Oh no. What I meant earlier was the youngsters show no respect. I'm talking about they show no respect to yourself, or
no respect for themselves.
They got no respect towards the old people. That they show me respect. Why do they show me respect? They show me respect because they're frightened of me. They show me respect because if they don't show me respect, I will unload them. And I ain't a bully because A bully is someone who picks and chooses. I don't pick and choose anyone. I fight the world. That's the difference. I fight King Kong. And as my friend said, I'm going to have a proof. They're doing a £10 million movie about me. I've done all my proving years ago. But see, with the youngsters today, as my mate said, if they ain't got a knife on them, they feel naked.
Tell us, have you ever lost a fight?
Never, on the cobbles. I'm telling you, I've never lost a fight on the cobbles. Because why am I, as we said earlier, it comes from in there. There's so much hate in there when I fight. There's hate, and it hurts inside. It hurts me. There's so much hate inside me. Because I don't dig anybody out. I've got no reason to dig anyone out. I've got my reputation. They're making a film of me. So now I'm 41. When this comes out, I'm 42. So I've got no reason to dig anyone out. I've got my reputation to do a £10 million movie. But people come to me pissed and I fancy the job. Well, I'll take their heads right off. Why should they dig me out? I suppose really it's like the old years ago, the old gunslinger days. They want your reputation. But I train 4 or 5 times a week now, and you know, if they want my reputation, they've got to die for it. And if they fancy the job, afterwards they think they've been to hell and back.
Do you ever lose your temper?
No, always try and be very polite. Truthfully, believe it or not, always try and be polite. It might be, my pal said to me a long time ago, I mean, David also said this to me. I said, well, I don't think so, Dave. You know, a couple of people said this. People said, Len, you bring a lot on yourself. I said, well, why do you do that? He said, well, I've seen you when you were talking to people. You talk very nice. Mate, if there's a trouble in the club, I go, excuse me, now listen, you mustn't do that. He said, now, you do that, I think, psychology, Len, you're trying to draw them in. You're drawing them in. He said, because a couple of times I said, look, you mustn't do that because, you know, this and that, and they go, who are you? And I go, boom, I broke their jaw. Where another time I could have gone in and gone, Rrr! And they go, oh. So there's 2 ways you can graft. See, all depends how I am on the day. I mean, sometimes I go in and talk nice and they say something, I'll take the head off. Another time I'll growl and they don't say nothing. So, you know, I suppose really there is something in the back of my mind.
When you're confident of your own abilities, you can afford to be polite first, because you know you ain't going to lose.
Yeah, no.
So you can afford to be polite first. You don't have to run up and growl and try and intimidate them.
Yeah,
you can afford to go, look, my friend, you know, you had a little bit too much to drink. I'd appreciate it if you just left quietly, you know.
Yeah.
If he wants to fight afterwards, then it's okay. You don't have to run up and start clumping him because you are confident in yourself.
Yeah.
So
we try and nip it in the bud. We try and nip it in the bud. But it's a terrible thing. When you're dealing with drunken kids or drug addicts, it's very hard. They can't see reason. And I always say, I'll give them a little tiny bit, and then I won't give them nothing else. So I'll dump, unload them, because I had a pal, listen to this about 4 years ago. You know the guy I'm talking about, Bernie, who used to mind the club over. Bernie used to mind the club over Brixton. When I worked with a guy, this guy, not a bad guy, and he said to me, and another job come up, and people asked me to go somewhere else, and it was more money, so I went somewhere else. Anyway, this guy, he was working on the door about 4 or 5 weeks later after I left, and he got hold of a skinny kid, must have weighed about 8 stone, and he's pushed the skinny kid out of the club. Anyway, he went home that night, he parked his car in the garage, as he's turned around, he's saying, there we go, and put 3 bullets in his head, no, 2 in his head and 1 in his cheekbone, blew his head right off. When they got hold of the mug the next day and nicked him, all the drugs were off, they said to him, why did you do that? He said, I don't remember, I was opening up. But it's no excuse, Bernie's 6 foot under. See the kids, and what it is, the only thing is it tarns the good kids. See, I suppose there is some good kids out there, but they'll get tarned with the same brush, don't they? See, and it's a crazy world.
Okay, cut.
How's that?
Bermondsey boys, roll 42.
Tell us about the fight. The one of the colourful fights.
How about the short fight?
Well, you know, I've had some good fights. I've had a lot of good fights. I mean, I fought the Irishman in London for a lot of money. I fought the Irishman in Scotland. I fought all around East London and South London. I fought everyone that wanted to fight.
The most publicised fight was Shaw, I think, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Roy was the most publicised fight. now you say I've retired now. Now I'm on to other things. I'm getting into this film world. I think, you know, because everyone seems to be getting in it. He's been in a film. Well, he's an actor now, and every time you see him, he's in a film.
Tell us about the one of the more colourful fights.
Well, so I'll give an example. I'll give an example about the most colourful fight. I was minding the club one day, and I had a fight with a little steak firm. You remember that, Kenny? That steak firm. It was 18-handed. I put 9 in hospital, and 9 ran away. They banged me up with the neck, and they said, Lenny, we can't nick you. We got to send it to DPP. Come back in 3 weeks. I went back in 3 weeks' time, and in other words, the DPP said there is no way we can nick one man from the fight of 18. He'll be laughed at court. Anyway, I was on the door a fortnight after that, and a rat, I still don't know his name today. A rat, this is through witnesses telling me, he got off a motorbike with a crash helmet on, crept up to the door with a double-barrel shotgun, and shot me in the back. And I had about 3,000 stitches, just funny enough, shot me up the arse, blew half my arse off. So what I'd done, you know, people would say, "Cool, you know, I just don't mean that. I chased the guy. Like, with just being shot, you couldn't run all that fast. So I chased the guy. He got on his motorbike and went out the road and stepped away. And you know, that's one of me. One of the most exciting things that's ever happened to me. Then another time I come home from a club, you know, minding the club, and I pulled up in the car, and as I got out of the car drove past me, and they shot me in the back and all. But I always say these people who shoot people in the back, I think they're cowards, because the thing is, you know, I like a man to come out and say, Lenny, I got the hump with you. Come and let's have a fight, and then I got a respect in the world room. And then after the fight, I would go to the hospital and take my prison up. You know, because I'd have all the respect in the world room. But all these cowards who shoot people in the back, I ain't got no time for them, because my little baby could shoot someone in the back. I just tell him where to shoot and where to put his finger.
If you live this way, you put yourself on offer. You target yourself for people to do that. You know, you might as well walk around with a big target on you. You know what I mean? You're walking around waiting for someone to have a pop at you for it. Of course you are. Yeah,
well, you're the same, Dave. We're all the same. See, it's not a point you're waiting for them to have a pop, yeah?
No, they're going to come.
They're going to come. They want to get an ambulance out, I suppose, isn't it? It's like going back to something I said before, the old cowboy days, isn't it? You get the young gunslinger wants to get a reputation.
So, mate, you have the same barrister, so right?
Oh, yeah, we got the same Imes. Yeah. Very good, the best. He's absolutely the governor. You know, in that game, he's top man. Well, funny enough, my friend, don't want to talk about it, but I mean, he's up court tomorrow. But if there's any justice in this world, he'll walk out of it, because, you know, it was a misunderstanding, and I think he's innocent. I mean, I'm bound to say that, but what I've heard through the grapevine is about another dozen people think the same. And if there's justice in this world, he'll walk out of it tomorrow. Please God. And, you know, but our way of life, you know, I wouldn't... It's good, but put it this way, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Like my son and my daughter, my son's 19, my daughter's 18, I wouldn't recommend. I mean, they go to work, and I love them, you know, and they're not my way of life. That's out of my wife. They're very polite and very nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm polite and nice, but they're not my way of life. They've been brought up to be lovely, beautiful children. It's like him. He wouldn't want these kids to be flying about the West End or doing what, you know, what he done. You don't want your family to do what you do.
What happens here is, because you've done it, because you've lived that way of life and you know the pitfalls, your kids are going to have a better upbringing than, say, some private school, because you know the pitfalls. You can keep them away from it and all that. So they're getting like good tuition from indoors. You understand what I mean? Like that.
So you can get the most educated person in the world, a top professor or a top doctor, and you take them to a club or a pub, and you say, how do you feel? You go, oh, that's quite nice in there. I ain't got a clue. You know why? They're not streetwise. We can walk in a club or a pub and go, phew, there'll be murders in a minute. How do you know? You smell it, the atmosphere. Right, Dave? It's atmosphere. It's what you call street sense. You go, phew, there's going to be murders in a minute. How do you know? Well, you know. It's instinct. It's there and there.
All these weird kids, all these punk rockers and really weird kids, you ever go and find out what sort of parents they got? They're all doctors and lawyers, and they've all been to public school. They're not, like, normal people, the real shit in this world, their parents are what you would call the upper crust, do you understand what I mean? Unless they turn bad. And you get a mum and dad like, say that's your fucking dad. There's no way you're going to go out with orange 12 earrings in your nose and all that. Your dad, he ain't going to let his kids go out like that.
Well, Larry, but see, he's right. See, Stonebridge kids... I mean, I was with a kid last week. Had a pair of drawers on, and she had like, a pair of bras on, all studs on them, and she had orange and green and mauve hair, and funny glasses on. And I went, God, I said, your mum and dad know you're like that? She went, my dad's a doctor, and then my mum's this, nice Stonebridge people come from Hampstead. See, I think that they turn that way, just rebellious against their parents. Where, see, where we've had the bad life in this world, you know, we guide our children different. You know, and my kids, please God, would never ever turn out the way I'll turn out. But don't get me wrong, I think I'm a smashing guy now, because now I can see where I'm going, and that's the way I want to go.
I've been told you're a bit of a sex symbol in the West End.
Thank you very much. Funny enough, a lot of people went on like Tom Cruise. But, you know, no, a lot of people say, you know...
Other people attract ladies, don't they? That's what
funny enough, I suppose I've got that menacing face, I don't know.
No, mate, you look quite cuddly, really.
Well, funny enough, I think I'm cuddly. I mean, I shouldn't really be talking about cuddling, so we'll be talking about two different things. But, yeah, I mean, I'm a character, and that's it. My son.
Cut.
How's that, all right?
Excellent.
Because you're waving the public, you said shut the gates, come in here, say like someone bring 20 grand and bring a gypsy along with it, well, it'll be two-handed and I'll bring two-handed, have a bare knuckle fight here, cut a bit of dough. Also, there's a bit of string hanging there. I used to be training here, talking about the outbacks, like something out of New York Bronx, isn't it?
It's hard, mate, isn't it? Hard training, real training.
This is what it's all about, and, you know, this is what it's all about, hard training.
What sort of training did you do?
Well, I used to get up at 6 in the morning, go for a 6-mile run. See, people, they don't know all this. They just think you went and had a bare knuckle fight. And I used to train like 6-mile runs, coming here, train with 2 hours on the bags, and my friend Kenny used to lay the fights on. We'll have a bare knuckle fight in here. And some of them was bad, you know, really bad fights. And I done a lot of damage to a lot of people. But again, you know, it was for a living.
I saw him training once in a breakers. I just build up some adrenaline, fucking big pickaxe, and he started beating up a car, ripping doors off, and just smashing them. You know, just to get out some,
that evilness. It's not so much evilness. The energy.
Not many people have beat up a Cortina.
No, and not only that, the thing is, he started racking old. He said, Len, that Cortina was old. I said, I could have still done a new Cortina, but we didn't have one. You know, it's just our life.
Tell us about a fight when you both blokes here.
Well, I had a fight with a gypsy, and when he turned up here, I said to the guy, right, what do you want? He said, well, I just want to straighten, and that's a stand-up fight with no kicking or anything. So I said, okay then. And then we got in there, and we was having a tear out, and all of a sudden he got me close and nailed me. Funny like, that's why I got that scar there, nailed me. I understand it's supposed to be a straightener. And I just done me now. I nutted him, kicked the life out of him, bit his throat and bit his half his ear off. And I suppose, see, it sounds evil and it sounds bad. But it ain't you. You're two big guys agreeing to a fight.
He'd have done it to you.
He'd have done it to me. Don't worry about that if he could have done. And I won the fight. I nicked 20 grand. And I went and bought my wife a nice car and went to New York for 10 days. And that's a lovely way to get living.
I've got a bloody tripod in the back of that.
Well, we're all right then.
How big is it?
301.
Tell us about the fight when you both bit the bloke's ear off.
How that makes sense. You ready?
Yeah, I've just got the mic hands. Okay, yeah.
Well, it's like everything else. I mean, you agree to a fight. Once you agree to a fight, then I always stick to the rules. If you want an all-in, I'll have an all-in. If you want a straightener, I'll have a straightener. Anyway, a gypsy guy come down there. And he said, yeah, he said, I only want to strain. I went, okay, also I'm having a bit of a tear up, and he got close and he's natted me. I went, hold up, now, it was supposed to be a strainer. So I nutted him and smashed him up the Niagaras. He's gone over, and I'll give him a centre. Then I went over the top and bit half his ear off, bit his throat, and, you know, murders. And I beat the guy, nicked a few quid. But that's what we agreed on. And it was either me or him, and it fucking wasn't going to be me, so I'd done the business. Anyway, turn about time you to give you a stall. I mean, listen, we do what we have to do to win, and that's all it is all about. Turn about to give you a stall.
I was on a show with Lenny. I mean, he's an hard act to follow, you get what I mean? He's a fucking hard act to follow, mate. And I went out there and people are leaving, you know what I mean, because he's finished. But I had a good chat with a black guy, Buster somebody, and I battered the fucking life out of him. I mean, I can't do all this fancy business like the ducking and diving and all that bollocks, no, but he was so... I was winning so well, so I could afford to be flash in front of everyone, you know what I mean? And I knew I'd won, and but if you're that close to someone, it's no, don't matter how many judges are putting points on, I know who's winning.
That's
and
right.
If you're that close, you know what I mean? You can look at him and see if you're hurting him or not. You know, and I knew I'd fucking beat the geezer, and it was a points decision. And I'm standing here by my corner, and there was a bucket there with a stall on the top and the ref in the middle, and he went like a winner, and I was just ready to put my hand up, and he fucking put up this other geezer's hand. And I looked over, and as he fucking looked round at me, he gave me a right smarmy little look, so I grabbed the stall, and I done him with the stall. Done him really bad, and then his cornerman come over, and my cornerman come over, and there was a big row of the thing.
Yeah, there was murder.
Excellent, mate, wasn't it? There was like some television there, I don't know what it was, they was filming him.
But it was good because, I'll tell you why it was good, because, you know, they come to see me fight because I'm an animal, they know there's going to be murders and there's going to be villainy in the ring. Also, this kid's come along, and this kid's done the same thing, so I said to the promoter, when I fight again, put this kid on the show. What is that then? I said, what is that? I said, he just said the geezer with a stall. I said, now, what'll happen now? Instead of him selling 30 ticks next time, he sold 230. Get that kid on the bill next time. He said, yeah. And I said, yeah. I said, I want kids like that, game, strong, and they don't care. Remember, we're not with the British boxing, but we wasn't with the British boxing. We was fighting for a few quid and fighting to win. End of. If you got to hit someone with a stall, hit them with a stall. If you can't get the stall, hit them with a referee.
Give the public what they want to watch, and that's what they want to watch.
If they want to watch boxing, go to the old ball.
You pay 75 quid a ticket to go and watch Frank Bruno hit someone in 2 minutes or something, and the bloke's going, I'm all right, and the ref goes, well, no, you're not, and that's the end of the fight. So you pay 75 quid for 2 minutes boxing. You can come watch us fight for 25 quid and you get a fight.
You know what I mean?
You get a fight, and you go home going, fucking hell, you know?
Well, you're still talking about the fight. You're still talking about the fight.
We're still talking about it now. It happened a couple of years ago, mate.
We're still talking about funny enough, people still talk about the fight now, and the fight happened like a couple of years ago, see, because there's a lot of excitement on them shows. I mean, the shows are finished now because, you know, all the characters are retired now, and we're all going on to better things. But that's how it was in them days.
Right, cut. Hold on.
Forward. Forward. Yeah.
302.
Beard man in London has retired.
Nice Escort. Good one, low mileage.
Oh, the eye, is it?
Oh, hello, car expert.
Probably an eye.
Is he dead? Listen.
Hello?
Eddie, it's Tommy.
Well, good afternoon. And who's been a bit of a scallywag then?
Nah, not me, Gav. What's CSP?
Local floods on the case?
Well, he's a peg, does he?
No. We sent John in for a packet of fags soon after the ambulance arrived. He'll live, but he'll have a bloody good limb. You have a nice holiday and keep your head down. Ta-ra.
Yeah, I'll see you. Ta-ra.
I don't want us to stay here, but my dad won't budge. When will they let him come home? Next week, maybe. Mum's scared stiff. I hate living here.
20 Rothmans. I heard you had a bit of bother. It doesn't work, love. Different people should live in different places. Give me the mirror. I was born here. I've never had any trouble. I'll be in again when your dad's back. Right, we've got lager, lager, lager. We reckon you want about a grand's worth.
Please, I can't afford to buy so much at one time.
No, a grand's okay. A grand will do it.
Right, start offloading the gear in, lads.
Anything require life, mate? I'll see you in a week or two. Be lucky.
You got your own van, mate?
Yeah, well, my brother has.
You live round here?
I did, yeah. I've been in Leicester, you know, done a bit of tushing. Come back, seen the old place. Been some changes, eh? Can't hardly find my way about.
Should you be able to find your way to Dover?
Bringing in booze or something?
I don't know. I know we bought booze that's been brought in, you know. Parties and that.
He said you pay £50 a run.
Who's this? He wants some work.
I got a van, but I'm a bit short.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, look, now, that's the story now. Look, if I can get a bit of work, great. If I can't, I'll be on my way.
If we hear of something and you're still about, we'll give you a whistle.
It's not lucky gear or nothing, eh?
Just van driving, fishing, drinking in France. Your own personal use, duty-free.
So, what's the catch?
Ain't one, mate.
Don't get it. I mean, why do you need a paid drive if it's for you?
Because sometimes I can't get it. You fetch it in for me and I'll give you 50 notes. You got a problem with that, pal?
Ah, great. Glad to help out. Give us a shout. I got a good van. Oh, look, do down the job centre at 3. Cheers, mate.
Ready?
Dad, they're still not back yet.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, son.
Well, do you want me to go down there and sort it out?
Shh. Shut up!
I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved on the fraudulent evasion of custom duty.
No, make it. I didn't mind.
Hello?
It's me.
Well, good afternoon. And who's been a bit of a scallywag then?
Nah, not me, Gav. What's the SP?
Local floods on the case.
The geezer pegged, has he?
No. We sent John in for a packet of fags soon after the ambulance arrived. He'll live, but he'll have a bloody good limb. You have a nice holiday and keep your head down. Ta-da. My good God. You look like a butler of port.
Yeah.
You holiday?
No, not really.
Come here, I want to talk to you. Listen, we've got a bit of work if you're interested. There's a packy mob wandering about, and they got a sniff of what's happening. They're only tossers. There's 200 notes in it for you. Have one or two of your men about, just to discourage them.
34 years old and talking about packy bashing. I'd have done better poncing.
Man has parked his car near the toilets lockup.
So is Madden running the bootlegging? No, Eddie Davis is. But Bill thinks George...
Service them. You're not there to frighten them away.
You gotta be a people person.
Form a relationship.
Stand there, nice and pleasant.
Courteous and cordial. Well-mannered.
Very respectful.
As nice as possible.
Articulate. Considerate.
Sensitive.
Warm. Happy.
But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Horrible. It's horrible. It's cheap. It's cheap and it's embarrassing. But the young kids today, they love it because they seem to think bouncer means tough guy.
I'm very proud to be called.
Well, I used to mind the toughest clubs in Britain, all over the country. I had about 20,000 barroom brawls. All the young kids out there, they want to make a name for themselves. I've retired. But you never know, so I keep well and I'm fast. And I'm always thinking, and I'm always on the ball. The 48. Everybody in the country knows me. When I'm driving along and they go, Lenny, I'll go, Bosh, #1.
I'm Mike DeMeo. I'm Frank DeMeo.
All I've ever known, all them years, all I've ever known is violence, 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 violence. I fucking hate violence. I detest it. But I'd done it for 40 years or 30 years in the club world. But I'd done it to put food on the table.
The average pay was $100.
Where anybody's drinking alcohol, of course it's tense because you know they come in nice guys. They have drinks, and after the 5th drink, I don't know what it is, they want to be tough guys. Why? Why do you want to be a tough guy? You got a £500 suit on. Why do you want to be a tough guy? You get your suit ripped, you wind up smothered in blood. How is that a good night out?
He put his teeth right in my...
It's more violent now in the 90s out there than it's ever been.
I love the violence.
As soon as there was trouble, I would turn in a second from a nice guy to a raving lunatic.
It's impossible.
I've said to people, no, you can't come in, we're full up. And they're pulling a gun out, they want to put a bullet in me nut. Why? Because you're on drugs, you're drugged up, you want to put one in my nut, because I said you can't come in the club. Where's their brains? So I used to get fuming.
Down.
If good guys come in and pleasant guys come in, you... Hello, good evening, thank you. Good evening, sir, thank you, have a nice night. Now, when the guys come in who want to be tough guys, then there's a different look. You want to see that look?
You see me at the gym, I'm like, oh, good morning, how are you? How was your day?
You get a lot of girls come up, you know, and can we get in for nothing? Can we? No, you're not on the guest list. We go to bed with you. Or when? And I've done a few, and they was on the guest list for years. Then when they started sagging and getting older, they come off the guest list.
If you was to do anything in a club, like say get a quick...
Two buckle. You got them?
Fingers, twisted, discarding, a screwdriver.
10 times.
Scar, upper right shoulder.
You got pins in there and pins in there.
Stabbed in the side, stabbed in the leg.
Left for dead.
Kick dropped.
Mobs coming to get us.
Back bitten.
Shot twice.
Cars driven over the top of us.
Head busted open.
Petrol bombed.
Punctured lung.
Stabbed.
Bludgeoned.
Battered.
Bashed.
Mangled.
Mauled.
And severed.
But nothing really worth talking about.
It is laughable. Absolutely laughable. What they're doing, they're getting young kids, I don't know, out of offices, out of college. Then they're sending them to these programs where they're trying to learn someone how to restrain people. That is the biggest lot of cobblers I've ever heard in my whole life.
I got certified. I don't have a record. I mean, I've gone to court. I've been charged with felonies, but
These kids you got on the door now with the badges, say to them, what does your mum do? Oh, she works in an office. What does your father do? Oh, he's in a can. How can they be tough guys?
Anybody can be a doorman now, but...
I'm down from 22 stone to about 17, 13, 18 stone. I want to lose weight because I know the less weight you carry, the faster you are. But these new breed of doormen, they're pumping steroids into them and they're getting larger. And if they can get 23, 24 stone, they're over the moon.
A lot of doormen use steroids for size and bulk.
What about if there's a fight? It takes them 3 weeks to put their hands up. The new breed of doormen are what you call posers. They look good. But then when it goes off, where are they? In the corner, looking good.
Coming.
I was born probably a lovely kid. Then my father died when I was 4, and a stepfather moved in when I was 5. He broke my legs when I was 5, broke my jaw when I was 6, broke all my ribs when I was 7, bashed me right up until I was 12. I went to a Prue school to get away from him. I went out thieving and got nicked, went to Prue school. I went to a borstal. I went to prison. And I was bashed as a kid by this evil stepfather. And then what happens, hate builds up inside you when you hate the world. I was gonna give him a strong talking to once, but on my mother's deathbed, she promised me, you know, please don't ever go at him. And I promised her I would never ever go at him. And I found out about 2 weeks ago he died. And I don't drink. I ain't drunk for 20 years. I had a shandy that night. People often compare me to Marlon Brando. I could have been a contender, Charlie. You was my brother. You never looked after me. You still have a good fighter. I was a bum. Why didn't you look after me, Charlie? I was your brother. Good? Thank you.
I've always been into acting at the time.
Did you ever study acting?
No, I come from the street. Every day's an act. So I'm the professor.
I did a movie in junior high school. It was called Superman's mate.
Have you heard me talk American? I'm from New York. I've been here 4.5 years. I love England. I love the Queen. I love Prince Diana. I love everybody. I'm from New York.
This is a Stallone scrapbook. We've been collecting.
Theirs is the curse of the gypsy blood, and they don't know how to rest. If they just went straight, they might go far. He's a rolling stone, and it's bred in the bone. He's a man who won't fit in.
real macho bouncers are actually covering up some kind of weakness?
Yeah, I think 80% of them are puffs, aren't they?
So Lenny, how come they always shot you in the butt?
I don't know, because they're cowards. They do me from behind. They won't go to the front. You know why? I'm so fast. Now you know I'm a good actor? Thank you. Okay, boys. Let's call it a day.
If you in the crowd screaming out, they're bound.
The pie and mash shop and led by 4 black mares. It was in the streets of East London where Lenny Mclean was born and where he made his final journey. He built a reputation there as a hard man, as a champion of the illegal sport of bare-knuckle boxing, and as yet another character to fuel the public fascination for the criminal underworld of the East End.
He was the stuff of cartoons. He was Bluto. He was the stuff of computer games.
He wanted to be the best fighter, he done that. He wanted to bring a book out, he done that. He wanted to get into action, he done that. We got into a bit of trouble and it was just too big for us to handle, we just give him a thought, you know.
To those who knew him, Lenny Mclean was simply the governor, an East Ender who looked after his family and friends.
See, that's how I would do it.
To those who crossed him, he was a hard man whose fist did the talking and carried a fearsome reputation as bare-knuckle boxing champion of Britain.
But in those days, there'd be people in the ring and they'd put the challenge out to the audience. And he'd sort of be sitting in the audience and say, well, I can beat that mug up there. And he'd put the challenge up and go up there the next week and just, bang, start knocking out. He was scared of nothing, no man, nothing. He was just fearless.
Lenny Mclean's reputation was built on 3,000 unbeaten fights and a brutal career that often extended outside the ring and into jobs as a minder and troubleshooter for some of the 60s most notorious gangsters. It also led to an Old Bailey murder trial, which resulted in a conviction for GBH.
To be on the wrong side of Lenny, you know, you just go and leave the country, wouldn't you? But he was good to women. I mean, it's all the cliches. He loved his mother, he loved his wife, he was fabulous to his children. And his son's now a very successful stockbroker.
In recent years, Mclean became an actor, winning a role in ITV's The Knock and a new British movie out at the end of the month.
Otherwise, I will take a finger of each of you and your friend's hand, and then when you run out of digits, your dad's bar, and who knows what then. All right, my son.
It was great working with him, and it was such a shame that this has happened now, because this was probably his big leap into the big time.
The story of Lenny Mclean's life is told in his autobiography, The Governor, which he struggled to get published, but which sold 10,000 copies in just 4 days.
He died on Tuesday afternoon. On Wednesday morning, he found the book was #1. But I think old Lenny's up in heaven, laughing down and thinking, yeah, I told you I could beat anything.
Oh, fuck off.
Inside the ring, the referee was virtually...
Can you handle it?
In the crime business, the heavy is classically a huge bloke whose muscle is up for hire, and no one typifies the role more than Lenny the Governor Mclean. Lenny was a living legend, and the truth behind a dozen urban myths, all of them extremely violent.
Lenny's the governor, but he was unbeatable. He was the hardest bastard.
Lenny had a fearsome reputation, the best fighter I have ever seen, according to crime associate, the late Ronnie Cray.
He was well respected by well-respected people.
Certainly his place within the underworld and his place within the kind of mythology of British crime is really important because of the extent to which he was able to take his violent activity.
Always an awesome figure. He didn't go out of his way to bulk up, he just grew into Lenny.
Born in London in 1949, he grew up on the old East End streets and was famous for bare-knuckles fighting.
His speed was quite incredible.
He bit, hit and stamped his way through 20,000 barroom brawls.
They came, they had a pop, and he put them down. Simple as that.
Lenny's talents were in big demand as a freelance heavy for several criminal firms. He was friends with gangland bosses Joey Pyle and Arthur Thompson Sr. He was involved in protection, debt collection and Lenny-style intimidation.
You could say enforcer. He didn't go out robbing banks, but he was involved with people on the other side of the law to look after their interests, to make problems go away.
He developed a reputation which was nationwide as being a man of violence, and after a period of time he very seldom actually had to use violence in order to get his point across.
If there was deals being done and Lenny was standing behind the particular firm that had asked him in, there'd be no trouble, because nobody would take Lenny on.
But he'd earned that reputation in every sense of the word, in a hard way.
One look could settle trouble, and if you wanted to pursue it further than that, then trouble is what you get.
The deterrence value of having someone with that kind of reputation on your firm, or certainly on your side, it cannot be underestimated.
At his earning peak, he could get £5 grand a day. Impressive now, that was mental money in the 70s. But even the biggest are brought down, and Lenny died of cancer in 1998. In criminal circles, he was the hardest heavy in the business. Not all heavies fit the classic physical mould. Paul Ferry.
What about violence in real life? The film you're about to see shows an incredibly violent fight, which for some at least is entertaining.
Worst fight you've ever been in. What do you make of that?
You want to talk to him? No? You don't want to talk about it?
That was unlicensed boxing. It's unregulated, it's not officially recognized, but it has a huge following. Now, on my left here is Lenny Mclean. He was the man who was doing most of the fighting in that match. A film is being made about his life called The Governor, all about his street fights. And on...
Craig Fairbrother ran me the film, a top actor.
I hope it goes well, okay. And beside him is Joe Pyle. Now, Joe is a manager for this kind of unlicensed boxing. He also organizes unlicensed boxing bouts. Now, Joe, could you just explain a bit about the...
Well, first of all, we're not unlicensed. We're unaffiliated to Border Control.
Okay, you're unaffiliated.
Yeah. And we put a show on. We have referees, we have timekeepers, we have doctors past them. Everything is above board. So it's not unlicensed. And Lenny is the heavyweight champion of the NBC.
This is your organisation.
If there's a fist fight, which is a bare knuckle fight, Lenny would fight anybody, come whoever it is. He'd fight them outside the studio right now if they want it, you know? That's the way it goes.
And otherwise it's done in the ring, is it?
Otherwise it's done in the ring with gloves and doctors, everybody passing it legal. We're not unlicensed, we're unaffiliated.
So you're saying it's exactly the same, really, as affiliated boxing?
We're unaffiliated, yes. And Roy Shaw was a champion before.
But it's otherwise the same as sort of normal boxing, as, let's say, licensed boxing?
Yeah, it's licensed boxing, same thing.
Okay. Well, Lenny, I have to say, looking at that, it didn't look like it was regulated. It was completely out of hand. Surely it's much too violent.
No, that ain't violence. That is not two big, powerful men having a fight for a few quid. It's not violence.
What is?
What I call violence, hitting little kids and mugging old women. That's violent. Not a big, powerful man who's fighting another big, powerful man. We knew the rules. All in fighting. The winner gets 10 grand and the other geezer gets the elbow. Right? I phoned him at the hospital the next day. Said, Len, the best man won. I said, what happened? He said, I cut a broken ribs, a broken jaw. But the thing is, two big powerful men agree to a fight. If people mind their own business and stay out of people's affairs, it'd be an happier world. But too many people say this shouldn't go on and that shouldn't go on. Let people do what they want to do. They can switch the telly off if they don't want to watch it. We're grown men. We've all got brains. Don't use us like idiots.
So you're two consenting adults?
Yeah, let's have a tear up and a smash up. We nick a few quid. What's it got to do with Mr. Brown, Mr. Green, or him? Nothing.
Okay, so that your idea of violence. Your idea of violence, then,
is eating children and mugging old women. That is violent. Not a big, powerful guy who's having a fight with another powerful guy. Because what can happen? We nick a few quid or we might lose.
Okay, well, the fact is, though, and this is to introduce Ken Jones, the fact is that the British Board of Boxing Control doesn't recognise this, and it's also supposedly illegal. Now, Ken Jones, you obviously agree with that. Why do you not like unofficial?
That's not violence. I mean, that's farce. It's not sport, therefore it's farce.
What do you mean farce?
It's farce because all you need there is a doctor. You don't need a referee. You don't need seconds.
What about Anaheim when you run across the guy on the stool?
Just a minute. Eight rules of boxing were broken there in a space of about 25 seconds. Now, if the sport has got any future, and I'm not sure that even licensed boxing's got a future in an allegedly civilized society, it's got to conform to rules, it's got to conform to regulations. Otherwise, it's not a sport, it's a spectacle.
What do you call licensed boxing?
Licensed boxing is boxing that conforms to a laid-down pattern of rules. And
that's licensed boxing.
I mean, licensed boxing is
you don't need a license
rules.
In America to fight?
You do have to have a license. You do have to have a license in America.
You belong to the board.
I'm sorry.
You're not a license to fight.
You have to have a license in America.
Yes, we have rules and regulations. In America, you've got about...
What rules? What rules are there? Tell me what the rules are.
How many times have you seen the rules broken under border control rules?
What rules applied there?
Was win or lose, and I wasn't going to come
second. That's not a rule, that's an attitude.
That's what people want to see.
Listen, if I was having a bare-knuckle fight tomorrow night at Wembley,
You'd be arrested.
I would pack it. You
You'd
know
be
why?
arrested.
Because deep down...
You know you'd be arrested.
Deep down... Everybody deep down goes back to the cavemen days. They love violence.
Well, this is the point. Prize fighting with bare fists is illegal.
That wasn't bare fists.
But if I was selling tickets tomorrow, how many would I sell?
I'm not on about that.
You know.
I'm on about the ethics of it.
Hold on a second.
The ethics.
Surely it boils down to the same thing.
You're a self-governing body.
Two men coming into a ring, agreeing to fight.
Well,
surely
the British boxing board.
but that's what boxing is all about. Two men agreeing to fight.
Yeah.
Surely there's no difference. You can't differentiate except for the fact that you're saying it's all more regulated. It's both violent.
Because if it's a sport, it has to conform to certain laid-down rules and regulations. If it's not a sport, it doesn't exist.
Would you rather see one shot like
you might as well say you might as well
say
send two football teams out there. Don't bother about the ball, just kill each other to death.
Oh, you saw one fight. The other fights that they're all the same?
Oh, no,
that was one fight.
All the others stick to the rules, jab and move.
Let's have
I don't stick to no rules, I'll just win because I want to win.
That was one off anyway.
Well, I want to bring in another element here, because when that was first broadcast by ITN, hundreds of people rang in to complain. Now, Michael Winner is over here, he's a top director. He makes a lot of very violent films. Do you think that's the kind of thing that you might have included in one of your films?
Well, of course, the very big difference is in my films, it's play acting.
Yeah.
And whilst we have shown in a story types of violence as great as that, there's a very big difference, part of the story. But I absolutely do not believe that the nation, seeing this tiny clip of Lenny having a go, was dangered, morality was in danger. Of course,
we showed more of it. We're talking about would you show more of it?
But
Would
how
you show
much more? You mean
consistently?
10 seconds more,
No,
the nation would have been...
well,
Beginning to talk about his views on violence. Mr. Winner, you were saying there was a hell of a difference, as far as you were concerned, between violence in films and fictional violence and violence in real life. Could you just continue on what you were saying?
Well, films have always taken stories from real life, and stories from real life include many times violence, or the hero beating up the villain and the audience clapping. Nothing wrong with that, and everybody knows it's play acting, and I might add there have been some very fine films about bare-knuckle fighting. I was brought up on an Errol Flynn film, Gentleman Jim. My dear friend Charles Bronson did a film called Street Fighter. Very good film about bare-knuckle fighting, and I hope they make Lenny's film. You see, if they can get an actor with that personality, it'll be a miracle, but good luck to them.
Do you see a difference then between that kind of fictional violence and real-life violence, say watching a boxing match like that on TV?
Well, I must say, at risk of being pulverised by Lenny, that I wouldn't like to see 10 rounds of bare-knuckle fighting on television. I think that all of us would have certain things we'd wish to see censored to a point. I'm not sure if Lenny does it privately and people enjoy it does any harm to anybody. And indeed, it may well be that Lenny and those who fight in that way are getting out their angst and their anger on each other, which might well be better than if they didn't do it, knocking the public about.
Beautiful.
Well, he looks good. Well, hold on a second.
Beautiful.
Do you see any difference then between unlicensed boxing and legitimate, let's say legitimate boxing on television in terms of being broadcast?
Well, I've only seen a very few seconds of unlicensed boxing, and I don't really think it's for an hour of television. But
do you see
there
a
are a lot
difference
of people very seriously injured in ordinary boxing, as it is.
Okay.
I wonder how many casualties they have in unlicensed boxing, whether they're any worse unaffiliated. I beg
It's an
your
interesting point, this, that in terms of television, you're differentiating between the two. Surely violence on TV is violence on TV, whether it's in films, whether it's in the boxing ring, whether it's wherever. I mean, making that
Well,
kind
it
of
depends on the individual seconds and minutiae of the violence. You can't, there's no such thing as violence. If I slap him, you could say that was violent. He's a lovely fella. You know, you have to go into the detail. There are things I don't think you should see on television, although I think we are far more censored than we should be. We have the most censored television in the free world. We have the most censored cinema in the free world. But nevertheless, we would all draw the line somewhere. If there was a film or television of the rape and slaughter of 8-year-old children, nobody would want it on except a lunatic.
See, there's enough opposition to boxing as it is. And sometimes I feel a degree of ambivalence about licensed boxing, if you want to call it that. When you see a kid like Johnny Owen
being
die,
killed, yes.
he dies in the ring, he goes into a coma, he doesn't come out of the coma. It makes you feel that maybe there's no place for boxing in society. If there is a place for boxing in society, it's got to be properly controlled and even better supervised than it is now, with stringent medical rules.
Okay, on that point, I want to bring in Tony Vanderberg. Now, Tony is an ex-boxer, he's an ex-boxing commentator, and he's an ex-inspector for the British Board of Boxing Control. Tony, you've been listening to these arguments about differences between various forms of violence on TV. What do you basically think is your argument?
Well, I think, of course, both are violence, and both can cause damage. However, I agree exactly what has been said. If you're going to have boxing, and don't forget that some countries are ahead of us, and I do use the word ahead, and have banned boxing because they consider it is violent, and more than anything, young men get their brains scrambled to entertain us, and I think that's something we should remember. But the unlicensed boxing is a joke, basically. And if you're going to have real boxing... Well, I mean, look at the gentleman. To be a first-class professional boxer, you've got to be fit and trained to a minute. Well, I'm sorry. I can't see this.
If you'd have seen Roy Shore tonight as well,
oh, yes, I think it's wonderful. I think you would be wonderful.
I train 5 days a week. I train 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm 20 stone of muscle. I train every day.
And
I don't...
smoking.
Eh?
And smoking. Can I ask you something? I haven't seen the big champion smoking. Well, there.
Can I ask you something?
Let me tell you something. I can smoke, I still train, and I'm the best cobble fighter in London.
I'm sure you are.
Okay, I'm afraid...
But should you not be...
Let me tell you something else.
What
you know what?
to do
It's all in the nut. It's all in the nut.
What are you
in the
trying
nut.
to do?
In the nut. Know me. I train.
Lenny, I'm gonna have to
May I
interrupt you there.
answer that gentleman for a moment?
A moment longer. I'm running away. I wish I were. I'm sorry about that. Now, it's a pity we don't have any more time for this. Maybe we'll come back to it later in the program.
Empty hand. Unlike Taekwondo.
It's silly.
No.
You know-
No.
In the red corner, the unofficial heavyweight champion of Great Britain, Lenny Mclean.
Frank Warren began promoting in 1978. Then he promoted outside the jurisdiction of the official board, but that soon changed.
Well, I got fed up with that after a while because it was tough, it was hard work promoting.
I think his way to the fight, I mean, like Nigel Ben's a good fighter. Don't get in his name. 50 middleweight, 50.
Dear old Lord, you still wearing that whistle?
Johnny Dancer. How are you, me old son?
I'm all right, not as good as you, of course.
Come here, give me a cuddle. Peter, a last job for my old friend, you know. Well, what have you been doing?
Listen, I heard you were up for one.
Nothing a good brief couldn't do the business on. I got suspended, but they crapped all over my son.
Chris, how is he?
Down a 9 month. He's out now. How about you?
Well, to tell the truth, I'm not too cushy.
What's the matter?
They all right.
They're as good as gold.
All right, chaps?
Okay, Tony.
You still active?
I keep myself busy.
Now, you know me, I wouldn't ask anything for nothing, right?
So?
There are 2 German villains in town, and they got an English face with them. Now, they phone me up, right? And I think they're potential customers. You know my business.
Well, we heard you was doing all right.
Well, yeah. I'll make a crust. So they say they want to form a partnership with me. You know, getting stuff over from Europe. I say thanks, but no thanks. I've got my own organisation. I don't need a partnership, and I think that's the end of it. We meet up a few times, right? Now, these are heavy people, threatening. I suddenly realise what they really want is my whole business. Now, someone's been giving them names. 2 of my captains ring up and tell me that these crowds have approached them to work for them. It's very worrying.
Well, you've got a big operation. Can't you send some lads round to sort it out?
No. Blokes who work for me, they're ship's crews, lorry drivers, no muscle.
Can you contact these crowds?
Oh, yeah.
You arrange a meet, and I'll get some lads round to sort it out. John? Yes. Come on, son, let's have a drink.
You're a diamond, mate.
Lovely. Peter, give us a drink. Give them a drink.
Yeah, and I'll get these. No.
I'm really frightened. Where are you? Where are you staying? Uncle Eddie's. Eddie Davies? Yeah. Oh, do you know where you are? What's the address?
Who are you phoning?
Mum.
You better ask your dad before you do that. Get some kip, son. Dad'll be back soon. Night, boy.
One of my men got shot. This is madness, I tell you. Look, I'm relying on you, Eddie.
Oh, you got away. You're safe. Listen, we'll deal with it. Don't worry about it.
But I need people now. You said I'd have 5 men by yesterday.
I'm still trying to sort it. It's took a little longer than I reckoned.
Now, you're not going to let me down, are you, Eddie?
No, of course I'm not. Look, we'll talk later.
Do with any of this? Chris, they've got my son, for Christ's sake. You've got to help me. Are you saying Eddie wouldn't help you in this situation?
I know it's bloody midnight. So what? I want something a bit special for a very good friend of mine. Chris and him will be over later, so do the business.
Prisoners being held in Israeli jails. Since then, at least 4 people have been killed in the clashes. Hundreds of others have been wounded. Sudan is appealing for help in coping with refugees crossing over from Eritrea. They're fleeing the latest fighting in Eritrea's 2-year-old border war with Ethiopia. The World Food Program says it's transporting food supplies.
But notes that shelter and sanitation remain inadequate. An independent
On the 20th of May 1979, the National Boxing Council was formed. Up until then, professional boxing in the UK had been completely dominated by the British Boxing Board of Control. Sometimes, for their own reasons, the British Boxing Board of Control do not renew a boxer's licence. But nonetheless, fighters carry on earning their living at boxing in a less orthodox way. They work for a fee for any promoter who wants to stage a fight, sometimes turning a blind eye to the rules. Out of this situation, the National Boxing Council was formed. This film is about Frankie Warren and his associates who started the National Boxing Council. It's a look at British alternative boxing from the inside, but mostly it's about the boxers themselves.
Nutting, kicking, you know, everything, all kinds of villainy. That's, you know, when I fought on the other shows. Then Frankie come along, and he's made it sensible. The first one that nuts, disqualified.
What are you talking about, really? It's Steve, isn't it? The British Boxing Board of Control. Back up.
There was no villainy whatsoever. I was sick, you know, because my fights used to be over in one round because I could nut them and do what I like. Right. But now, mustn't. More than you dare do because you get disqualified. There's no pressure on anybody. You know, you fight because you like fighting. And let's be fair, you know, when you fight on these shows, you're not fighting out in the street because you've got to train for 6-7 weeks to fight on one of these shows.
Our fights are more competitive. That's what it really is. People going in there, they're having a fight. And we're an official body now. We're an official legal body.
You got a name, your body?
Yeah, NBC, National Boxing Council.
Ah.
These people they're building up something which is in opposition to the British Boxing Board of Control, which have had a stranglehold on boxing for far too long. And the British Boxing Board of Control, they've killed boxing off.
If the working class
are going to beat each other's brains out, then they should do it for the people in front of their own audience, their own roots. Why should it be in the National Sporting Club or the Hilton Hotel? Why shouldn't it belong to the people as it used to when I was a kid? And I think as the editor of a newspaper in Fleet Street, I want to know why so many obstacles, so many difficulties are put in the way of this young guy, Frank Warren, who's trying to make boxing a decent sport again, and I don't like what's happening to him. For instance, he wanted to bring over an American boxer for 1 week, and he couldn't get a work permit. They said to him, "Oh no, you're not the Boxing Board of Control, you're independent. We're not going to give you a work permit for this American boxer because we don't recognise you." What right has the government department to say to him, "You shall not bring over this boxer"? I think there's some kind of a conspiracy against him, and it's our job as newspapers to look into this, and anything I can do to advance boxing as a good sport, I will do it.
What's illegal about it?
Nothing's illegal. You've seen it. It's no. What's the difference? What I've noticed, the difference between that and ordinary boxing is it seems a bit more pride involved, where people go in and they have a fight for the sake. Yeah, they go in and they want to win.
We'll keep on having these people come in here and saying, well, the boxers are too old, the boxers, they're doing this, and they're all forgotten men sort of thing, trying to make a name for themselves. It's not that at all now. These fighters, I mean, have all been good fighters, and they'll all pass a medical test before they get in the ring.
I saw you come in today, you know, and I wondered what else you did apart from this. Do you do anything else, or are you boxing all the time?
No, I sell greeting cards.
You do what?
Greeting cards.
And how many times do you box? You know, do you box very regularly?
No.
No? Just now and then?
This is the first time for a long time.
Is it?
Many years.
How long is it since you last boxed?
10. 10 years.
10 years. Do you feel nervous tonight?
Always feel nervous.
We've had to start with what we had, which was basically old fighters. But you know, now we're getting young blood into it, and we want to go on with a young blood because you only build on young people.
When did you start boxing?
When I was 9.
Did you think about going with the British Boxing Board of Control? Did you ever approach them or anything?
Well, when I was younger, I did have an offer, but it wasn't really me. I like to be free, and that's why I went to the NBC.
Do you get paid for tonight?
Yes.
Right, so you think of yourself as a professional boxer now? You have another job or what?
No, that is my living, professional boxing.
Columbo's he's an exception. He just goes on and on. He gets away with it.
He fought his way out of Hungary during the revolution, and he's been fighting ever since. He's very determined, and he always trains hard.
Thanks for letting us come along and do this, right? Tell us a bit about the things you do at the school.
I'm working for the London Education Authority.
Yeah.
As a resident schoolkeeper.
Right.
Plus I do a bit of evening job for children.
Right.
Kickboxing, karate.
Right.
And in my spare time, when I have got a spare time, I do boxing. I just love the game. I can't see anything else. I would do it for nothing.
You can take the biggest shots, the biggest punch, providing you are aware that you are taking a big punch. But if you're not aware of it, you get knocked down.
Come on, Steve!
There's a million of people fighting, isn't there? This way you get paid for it. And you know, you can't get nicked for it. Let's put it this way. I spent the day busy. What do you running do? About. What do you do? Just running about. Yeah. What's your work? I'm a plasterer.
it's either him or me. You're in there to hurt one another. And if you get an hard punch from the other person, it really hurts. You laugh back, and it'll make him think that he ain't hurt you.
He was just trying to give me the impression that he's out, knocked out, and make me a bit careless. Would I be careless, he could have caught me with very useful body shots and probably put me out of business for a lifetime.
You've got your second and your managers there. They're telling you, they say, right, he's ready now to be taken. Or you might be saying he's got a cut eye, he's got a lump in his eye, working that eye. Take it easy this one. Because that man, he's got a lot in reserve. They can see little things which you miss of being in there.
I think psychology is the most important thing in the boxing.
Come on, move it!